Viva la secession. So that turn went pretty well. However, it was one turn, and I think this turn here is going to be even more critical than the last one. What I'll do is I'll go through the battles. There was a lot of them. There was a 5 national morale swing. We got 5 from that particular round. We have Manassas surrounded for this turn. I'm pretty sure he's going to bring the rain the next turn. But let's go through the battles, and then I'll discuss moves for early July 1863. So first, this little battle was here. He attacked me with 9,000 troops. They're all infantry, which is actually good for him. I just have cavalry, and I didn't lose many troops, but I ran because he has me greatly outnumbered. So what I'm going to do here, unfortunately, I can't burn this depot because I have a non-activated unit, so he may get this depot back. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to surround him up here with like everything I can. And then if he doesn't take this depot that turn, as you can see, he's already down halfway on his supply. So if I can get up here across this river this turn, then perhaps I can attack him when he has no supply, and maybe I'll get away with a win. We'll see. If he does get this depot this turn, then I'm just going to have to pull back because there's not a whole lot I can do at that point. I was able to burn a lot of these depots, though. I wasn't able to get that one, but I was able to get that one. And then this is size 2 depot, so I wasn't able to do anything with that. But we were able to take care of at least one depot. Let me see here. Can I think I'm out of... There we go. That's a 2. I'd rather not waste it on that one. So we'll save that last one. Out here, we were able to reclaim El Paso, which, as you can see, it's a strategic location. However, the depot is up here, and I'm not sure if that was something he built or if that was something we built. I do have these guys here who kind of helping us out. The thing I have to be careful, though, is he does have me cut off at the moment in my rear with these forts. So I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do about this yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to kind of take this guy, and I could probably get over there, you know, in a turn or two. I could, you know, get around. Or what I plan to do yet. I don't have much of an opportunity to figure it out because I can either take this and then restock and then get out of there, but I'm banking on the fact that there's actually a depot here, and I don't know if there is. So I'm gonna stay tuned on this. And then he's got 3,800 troops and a supply wagon with this, and then 3 artillery. So that's good intel to have. That's this guy. Whoops, that guy. Okay, so this is the first big battle that we succeeded in. We schwacked him pretty good. We also lost a fair amount of troops as well, unfortunately. But we're down to 20,000 with Johnson, and he's down to 6,000. And he only had 1 division under that guy in the pack train. And this was when we crossed the river in Kentucky, which I'll show you in a moment. But it was 4 days of battle, so I'm not sure if he was on, like, was he? Yeah, I know he's blue, but I don't know if he was blue-red or what the deal was, but it took him quite some time to actually get out of there. So day 1, we crossed the river. Obviously have the river crossing penalty. So I want to say we suffered some pretty significant casualties. Well, he inflicted 72, so we only did 57. So still have the river crossing penalty. We inflicted more that round, and then he only inflicted 19. And then we have fatigued under Bragg, but river crossing penalties still. But then it looks like he's exhausted, probably because he has the 1 division and we got the 3. And then finally he flees. So I'm not sure how he would inflict 102 when you have 1 guy left. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, here's the totals. And I'm guessing I could probably promote him at this point. He actually would be a decent corps commander, even though he does have that negative modifier on the dispirited leader. So we'll see. And then this is over. Okay, so he just has mounted infantry under these guys, 3,000, and artillery. That's right here. So I'm actually attacking him with line infantry and then some artillery. So that should be enough to push him out, plus a sharpshooter. So we'll see. Okay, the next major battle was with Johnston, which was far more significant of a victory for us. This was at Bowling Green. And as you can see, I attacked him with... this was also Clarksville. So this was like the battle that happened before, I believe, the one that you saw. And this is when we had 2 stacks of troops involved in that battle. So we hit him pretty hard, and he was pretty schwacked after that. Both of those were here. And then we pushed into Bowling Green. So I hit him, took him out. However, I noticed on this turn that I'm out of ammo. So I don't know if that's what the reason for that is. This is Morgan, another victory for us. He had about the same amount of cavalry as we do, but I have better leadership, which is probably part of the reason. I also have some special units in this division. It was a 2-hour battle. I'll show you what I have there, actually. So this is the one with the Indians, the sharpshooter, the supply ranger. So it's pretty elite. Yeah, with the elite unit there. So it's a pretty elite cavalry unit. And that last one I just showed you was down here along my rail line. The next one was when we crossed the river over into northern Virginia, near the Alexandria battle area. It was a 6-hour battle led by Jackson and Longstreet, but we had 78,000 troops and he only had 7,000, so schwacked him pretty good there. That was up here. And then obviously the battle for the defenses, we took that because we did red, so it was basically just an all-out assault on Alexandria. And then finally this one here too. So that's why I'm out of ammo, because I had 2 battles here. So maybe I shouldn't move him. Keep him there. He'll get resupplied by rail here. I got a good supply depot here in Chattanooga. So let's see. What do we get as far as... So we got Pender, by the way. He just took the battlefield. He's a 422. And he's also a fast mover. So he'll be helpful. We got 10 money for war supply from our blockade runners. Trying to see what we got in terms of loot from those battles. We got 200 rifles, 700 prisoners from one of the battles. Which one was that? Okay, so that was from El Paso. 100 rifles, 500 prisoners from probably Montgomery, Tennessee. .600 rifles, 2,800 prisoners from Alexandria. And then 1,100 rifles, 4,000 prisoners from... Probably, let's see here. Oh, that was also Alexandria. That's probably when we took the fortifications. We got 2 national morale from that, by the way. Yeah, so there you go. That's all the loot and prisoners that we got. Let's see if there's anything else to go over on here. So, okay, so those are the notes. So I'm going to go west, far west to east, and then conclude the video. Now, like I said, over here in the far west, I haven't decided what to do yet, so that'll be stay tuned for the next video. I could do one of two things. I can go after this depot and try and get it, or I can get my troops out of here sooner rather than later. I don't know. I don't think I can probably match his numbers. He's got 3,000 troops just in that one stack alone, which is about what I have. But he's got the supply I don't. So I'm probably going to try and get out of there. Yeah. That's actually a good defensive spot too, because it's a hills. He might move up here and try and block me though. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. And then over here in the West Mississippi, he was able to land here again without attacking. I don't know what is up with this. Why he didn't attack me when he crossed the river? Why he didn't attack me here? And then why it's not attack here, even though I was on the defensive and I had 100% military control. But anyways, I'm gonna burn the depot here and then pull back to Little Rock, which is really what I kind of planned on doing whenever he decided to attack me anyways. However, what I am going to try and do is keep my ships here, and then which will block off his supply from the north, and then bring my guys down here in the rear, and then maybe it'll take him a little bit longer to take this place than it should, or because I burned this depot, he doesn't have any supply there, and then I'm able to, you know, maybe choke him off and come back after him. We'll see. Moved Anderson forward just for the time being. He's going to be here. I won't be able to train up any of these guys because he's not a leader of this stack anymore. But I needed to do that to make sure that if he makes a move on me, I'm going to have, you know, 3 divisions here of troops that I can use to fend off any sort of attack. So that's what I have here. They're under Beauregard at the moment because he was the closest army commander. So as you can see, Beauregard's pretty robust in terms of corps command. He's commanding these 2 guys as well. So that's what I have holding down here. I'm bringing my fleet up just in case he decides to try and come down the Mississippi, because he is under the impression for whatever reason that I'm, you know, not ready to fight it out here, which I am. He's got this guy in here, which is a little annoying because it gives him intel on what I have on the interior. I thought he would engage him, but he didn't. So now he's here, and he's just getting intel, which is pretty irritating. But, you know, it is what it is. There, go from there. Moving up. Now, this is perhaps insane of me, but he's got, between the 2 stacks here, like what, 14,000, 15,000 power? And then he's got another 1100 power here. So my idea is I can't go blow to blow with him, even on the defensive, because he just has too many troops. I've discovered from this playthrough that even if the Union does not go after the Confederates' economy in any way, which he has not, you just can't keep up with the Union, like, at all. It's impossible, apparently. In terms of just, turn-to-turn production and just not doing anything. So I'm changing my strategy. I'm going the offensive. I have 2 stacks of troops here. I've got my Army of Mississippi and I got Forney. He may try and come in my rear here, which is okay. Because here's my idea. He has a depot here and a depot here. But I've got to imagine, because he just built these relatively recently, they're only size 1 depots. And he's got a lot of troops down here. So I've got to imagine that his depot supply really isn't that significant. Why do I say that? Because he didn't really have anything here. In either one of these, there wasn't a whole lot of supply. I've already sucked it dry with what little troops I have. So I'm going to burn this depot here and tear up the rail line. Burn this depot here, tear up the rail line. I'm moving Johnson even further to the interior, and I'm going to go after his supply depot here. So cross the river and attack. So bypassing this guy altogether, which I could go after him and probably do some damage. But for me right now, it's more important to go after the supply lines, because that's my target right there. If he wants to go in even further in the interior, by all means do it. He won't be able to get down to these depots before his supply runs out. So he has this one supply depot here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack here. He's not entrenched. He is probably, I'm guessing, going to move a couple of his corps back across the river to reassert control over here. I'm kind of gambling here with this attack. I'm already a little banged up over here. I might even think twice about this. We'll see. I don't know. But he'll get support from these 2 corps as well. And then my idea is to effectively delay him enough so that Johnston can get up here, tear up this rail line, destroy this depot, and then get out of there. That's my plan. So, and I can actually go red because I know he's not going to have much in the way of reinforcements right here. He won't be able to get these guys back in time because I've torn up the rail lines. So that's the plan there. That's probably going to be the plan there in terms of attacking him. But then what I'm doing is I'm moving Morgan up here, cavalry here, and then I'm going to try and escape along this river back over to Paducah with Johnston. So that's the plan. We'll see. It's going to be a messy affair. And then Fort Donelson, I'm moving him up here and attacking that. Again, to open up this river so that I can get Johnston out of there. Now, there's a couple of risks associated with this. One, Johnston gets trapped and I can't get him out of here. That's why I'm taking all these measures to open up the river. He also can go into the mountains, but that'll be easier for him to block me off if he wants to. So I'm banking on this route being my main area of escape. Number 2 is he could just float up the river and then go after like Fort Donelson and maybe try and get on my interior over here. That's a possibility. I still think he faces the same problem though, which is supplies. So I have a depot here. So he may float up the river and hit that, and that's possible. I'd trade that versus what's currently happening over here, honestly. But I still feel like if he goes over here and lands here, I can shift my forces over and probably go after him. Or, like I said, he can go up the river and land here, but I think probably the more likely approach is going to be he's going to cross back across the river, reassert his control over here, and then try it again. That's my opinion, but we'll see. So that's the West in Tennessee. Now, finally, so I already showed you over here, just that's a little minor engagement where I'm going to try and surround him. We'll see what happens over there. If he gets his depot back, then it's a waste of time. Now, the Far East. What to do? What to do? So here's the map. Manassas is totally surrounded. He doesn't even have a supply depot there. So he's got to do one of two things. He needs to reconnect himself with the Shenandoah and then perhaps get some supply from there. He only has one depot there, though. And then he's got Harper's Ferry, which I think has a depot as well. Yeah. He has a depot here at Alexandria, which he could kind of go back and attack. I'm going to burn it, though. That's his main supply depot, is DC. So he's going in one of two directions, because he's not going to sit still now. He can either take everything he's got and go after Culpeper, and then move across into the mountains here from the Shenandoah. So then he'll have basically 3 regions all linked up. And then what he could do is from there push east towards Richmond. Or he could throw his weight into my forces over here that are to his east, reconnecting himself with DC. Or he can do both. And I think he's going to do both. He's got the forces to do it. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping he does do both, because I have the forces to, I think, bleed him pretty effectively. The question for me is, what do I do with Jackson? I think I hold here for at least a turn, because as soon as I give this up, I'm never getting it back. I mean, I'm not going to be able to march through as easily as I did this time around, because I don't think he expected me to be able to push to Alexandria in one turn. So I need to decide how to maintain the initiative while at the same time not giving up Richmond. Because my current situation, he can punch through and push to Richmond. He could do it. And it's a far larger blow for me to lose Richmond than for him to lose DC. Because I have a lot of my supply production here in Richmond. He's got obviously fair amount of supply production at DC, but he also has a large supply production everywhere else as well, and he's going to move DC to New York before I take it anyways. So right now I'm just thinking I'm probably just going to be here, make him think I'm going to take DC, but I can cross over this way and then down and be there in 8 days and potentially take it. It is very possible I could take it. And he can't block me because his ships can come right here, but they can't get up here. So that's a possibility. He's got these guys up here that he might bring down to try and reinforce them. So we'll see. And you're going to have to come back to the next video to see what I actually do. Unfortunately, by the way, these guys did not make it up here like they were supposed to. So what's going to happen is Hoke is not going to be in command of this stack here. It's going to be Ewell, who only has a 1 defense, whereas Hoke would have had a 2, and then I would have had another 2. So that sucks. And I'm pretty sure he's going to cross over and attack. If I were him, I would. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And in the next video, you will see what we do.